everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly from My Soulful Home.
And we have tips and tricks and decorating advice for you. So let's get started.
Today is episode 16, and we are talking about choosing sofas.
Ooh.
Love a good sofa.
We have a lot to say today.
I know, I'm so excited. But first, before we go into choosing a sofa, I want to tell you about my very first sofa.
Oh, and the very first one you can never forget.
That's right. You know,
This
you
is
just don't
true.
forget your first love, do you?
Or your first sofa.
That's right. That's right. And I'm not going to say it was my first love, but it was my first sofa. So we were
Your
22.
first love on the first sofa. That's a whole nother. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What? Oh my goodness! I am just having to fan myself here. Okay, so we were 22. We had just gotten married, and we bought a house, which was a big deal. So we had no money left over to buy any furniture. So you know what's coming now, or maybe you don't. A phone call from my mother.
Bring, bring.
Mama's getting involved.
So she says, Nada, she said, I need to talk to you about your
Nada?
sofa. That's what she calls me, Nada.
Nada. Oh my.
That
Does
is what
does she have a strong Southern or some kind of an accent?
She's from Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's what but she's always in a hurry.
Can I call you that?
No. Okay, so she says, Nada, I need to talk to you about your sofa situation. To which I said, I don't have a sofa, remember? And that is exactly what I am calling about. Your sofa situation. You know, normal people have a sofa. Do you know what they call people that do not have a sofa? A hobo.
There's a name.
A hobo.
Hobo.
You do not have a sofa.
Oh, wait, so you avoided living down by the river in the dirty van, became an engineer, got yourself
So
married
all-
to Kevin,
all you
and you're
have to
still a
do-
hobo?
So all you have to do to be a hobo, let me get this straight, is not have a sofa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, I've been a hobo several times.
So she's like, they are called hobos, and my own daughter is a hobo.
Oh my gosh.
If your own mother comes to visit, where am I supposed to sit?
Oh,
To which
it's
I
all
said,
about you, Mama.
I know.
Okay.
So I'm like, we have chairs, Mom. She's like, I am not finished, young lady. What if I come with my sisters? Now
Oh,
let's say I bring Faye, Judy Dawn, Glordine, and Betty Lou,
Oh my.
which are my
Oh,
aunt's
my.
names. She said, what if, I'm like, Mom, they don't even live nearby. You're not bringing them. This is hypothetical.
Those are really not their names, are they?
No, they really are. My
You
aunt's
did make
names.
that up.
No, I'm not. This is, you think I'm making
Steel
all this up?
Magnolias too?
My family's from Oklahoma. Those are my aunt's names.
All righty.
Yes. So, so I'm like, so she's like, what if they're all coming? And I'm like, well, we could just sit on my bed and put our pajamas on and pretend like it's one big pajama party. To which my mother said, oh, my Lanta. She said, she's like,
Malanta or Atlanta?
my Lanta. It's oh my land, and which is also oh my Lanta. She's like,
wow.
yeah.
I'm
So then
learning
she was
a
like,
lot.
I know. So she's like, Anita Jean. She said, you have got to be serious. This is ridiculous. So anyway, she's kind of getting annoyed with me, and then she says the P word. It's coming.
No. Wait a minute. There's a lot of P words, and there's some we would say and wouldn't say.
And there's no such word as pofa or poach. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, she says she's going to pray about it.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
good P word.
That's
Okay.
the P word. I was not cooperating, so she was going to pray about it and get this situation taken care of.
Mama,
And
don't pray. Just take your checkbook out and buy me a damn sofa.
I'm sorry. We may not be able to go on with this podcast because I'm laughing so hard.
my
This
gosh.
is so funny.
yeah. So she, anyway, So she says she's going to pray for me, and so that conversation kind of ends with me going, "Fine, I'm not going to buy a sofa." And she's like, "Fine, but you're getting a sofa," and it kind of like was kind of a we just couldn't quite come to grips there with an agreement. So a week later, my friend calls me and says, "Anita," she says, "my mom is getting rid of her sofa, and she's giving
for
it to
heaven's
me."
sakes.
But she said, "I don't have room for it. So, do you want my sofa?"
Oh,
And that is
see,
how
that
I got
P word works. I'm here to tell you the P word works.
Yeah, it did. It did. And that was my first sofa.
Whoa.
Oh, did you like it?
Well, it was rust, brown, and tan Herculon.
Oh
I
my
think that's all I need to say.
Now, I'm like asbestos.
You know what? I actually
You
found.
could cook on that sofa and it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, not Teflon, but Herculon.
Yeah, I know.
I actually this morning.
What is that anyway?
That's
You know
Teflon's
what?
cousin.
I found a picture of it, and I'm going to put it in the show notes so you all can see.
Put it on your blog, please, Anita.
You have to scan it in and everything?
Yes,
Okay,
I'll
I
be
have to
scanning it in.
recover from this.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I'm going to start calling you Nita Jean.
Oh my goodness! I knew I shouldn't have said that.
No, but this is a good tip because usually if my girls ask for something, and then I'm like, okay, here's the credit card, or now I'm just going to say, I'm going to pray about it, girl.
That's right.
And then, maybe all the clothes you wanted will just land on your doorstep. Or
Well,
that
now,
car
okay.
you wanted.
Now listen,
Well-
the best thing things I've ever gotten in my life, I've prayed about. So there you go.
Well, that's right. Now, it was not the sofa I dreamed about having, but I was no longer a hobo.
Well, and that says a lot.
Anita,
There you
I was
go.
worried there for you a little bit.
And
Anita
the steel
Jean.
magnolias had someplace to sit.
Oh, I am so okay. Now okay. There, great. Now you know my full name. That was a big mistake.
Oh my! I have a whole new respect for you, Nita Jean.
Okay, really, let's get on to the sofas because I think this has
Must
gone
we
on too long.
seriously?
Yes, we must. So I think the first thing that you really want to look at when you're picking a sofa is how long it is. What your requirements are for the length, because you don't want to get attached to a sofa that's not the right size. So
And here's what generally happens when you go to look for a sofa. You're looking at the style, you're looking at the fabric, all the fun things. But there is so much work you have to do to find your perfect sofa even before you get there. How are you going to use the sofa?
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How big does it need to be? What kind of a spot are you putting it in your home? What size is it? There's so much you have to do before you get to, oh gosh, I love that style, and boy, that's the fabric I choose.
Well, and for me, the criteria is I have an over 6-foot husband that wants to take naps on the sofa. So I've got to get the length right, or it's just not going to work.
And napping is a very important use for a sofa.
It is around here because he has to nap on the sofa. He cannot nap on the bed. I don't ask me why. I don't know, but that's just the way it is.
That's too much of a commitment, napping on the bed.
Then it's really like
That's
sleeping,
like sleeping.
not
That's
napping.
not napping.
Well, I think he's too far away from all the action. He's afraid something's going to
Gotcha.
happen. He's going to miss it. But he's asleep, so what's the difference, right?
But here's the other thing: if you're looking for a sofa that you're going to lay down on, you also need it to be wide enough.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, those little like narrow sofas that are narrow from the back of the sofa to the front of the seat they're not good to nap on. There's just not enough room to get comfortable.
Yeah, I think the considerations are, is it going to be a sofa in a family room where there's maybe going to be several people at a time, or some kids, or a napping husband, or some football games being watched, as opposed to a sofa that might be in a more formal living room that may not get the type of use.
Yes.
So, as Yvonne pointed out, you have to really think about how are you going to use it. And there's so many things to think about: the height of the back, the width of the arms, the cushions the fillings in the cushions.
And
So
a lot
lots
of that
think
has to
about.
do with comfort, don't you think? I mean, you really have to know your sofa before you get it, because you really want it to be a comfortable sofa.
Yeah.
Well, you
and
have to know yourself before you know.
Oh, Kelly,
now we're
she's
getting
so-
philosophical.
She's
so
so
deep.
California.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
is
there-
some
there you go.
self-awareness.
And there's do you have show towels in your bathrooms, that you tell your family do not use those show towels.
Yeah, no,
You know,
that doesn't work in my house, so
Okay.
I say
I
it.
can't have them.
I do say it.
I did. Bobby does know about show towels, but some of us have show sofas and usable
what's the
and
point of
family
having it?
sofas. Like if you don't have if you have it in a room that you don't use that much, or it gets light wear, and there's a big difference between a sofa that you're going to be on every single day, watching TV, reading, talking, playing games, family use, as a sofa that is in an area where, you use if you're going to have company, or you're going to use if you're going to sit down and read. But that makes a huge difference in the sofas that you pick.
So Anita, for your 6 foot plus husband, what size sofa are you generally looking for?
Well, I just make him go lie down on the sofa in the store, so I don't really know.
He's napping in the store.
Right.
But, I think a standard size sofa tends to be about 84 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a smaller space, maybe like an apartment, you're probably going to look for an apartment size sofa, which would be 68 to 72 inches. But also, when we're talking about size, another point, because this was a big issue when I bought my big red sofa when I was in my Tuscan phase.
That Tuscan face keeps
Right there with
I
you.
know.
Right there
Yeah,
with
'cause
you.
Yep, Yvonne and I had the Tuscan face. It would not fit. Well, we almost could not get it through the front door.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
you've
definitely
really-
have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful, especially if you have an older house that maybe doesn't have a real wide door, to make sure that sofa's going to fit through there, because that can be a problem. And some sofas, the feet come off, and some of them don't.
Oh, yeah.
Did it have those big rolled arms?
Well, they're not huge, but it does have rolled arms.
Well, remember the chair and a half too? So there was a big
Yes, yes.
rolled arms, and then the giant chair and a half. Well, I had a couple of those. Yeah, and then the big ottoman that went through, just huge, huge furniture, and the arms taking up so much space. We really struggled getting those into our last house, but they are now gone. I don't have those anymore.
Ooh, good.
I had a red sectional that everyone loved so much in my house, and that was one that got tons of use in the family room. And when the girls were little, I mean, it had a lot of DNA on it, let's just say. And there was, yeah.
Ouch. I think we had one of those sofas too that's
And
no
there
longer
was,
with us.
Yeah, it was time for that to go. But it was just so comfortable. And I did buy it in a store, and I had tried it out, and it was really well made and not even that expensive. And it had one of those chaises, which is really a nice thing to think about if you have the room for it, and if it's going to be in a room where people are going to be watching television and whatnot. But the girls would always compete, or because the older one always said, well, that's just my spot because I am, and so move over, and the
Yeah.
little one, until she got enough fight in her, she would just scooch over, and then they started to actively compete for it. So I thought, oh, this is brilliant. When that red one goes, I was just hankering for the white sofa. I knew it was going to be a little challenging, but I went for it. And I actually had it custom made at one of those sort of sofa,
Ooh,
you
fancy.
love kind of places that puts
Yes.
together, well, not
Yeah.
super fancy, but you got to pick it and the shape, because my room was, it could be a little bit bigger than the standard. And so I got two chaises next to each other, thinking this was going to solve
Two
all the
kids.
problems.
Now,
But-
tell me how the configuration went.
Well,
Two-
I had it made into two separate long cushions, and then it had two regular cushions next to it. And I still have this one. And when we finish the bigger family room here at the house, it will make an appearance again. And it was a
good.
great idea, except I should have just done one big cushion, because the cushions kept separating and just didn't look good.
That's a good point. Let's talk about the cushions
The
now, because you
cushions.
can get a sofa with 3 cushions, 2, or 1. What are your thoughts on those?
My favorite is 3.
I like 3 too, and
I think
because
that-
then there's not somebody in the center. all the
Yeah.
time.
You don't want the crack.
You fall between the
Excuse me?
cracks. That's right. And if
keep
you
it
fall
clean
in
today?
between the crack, it's a horrible thing to try to get out of.
It's true.
And it really, I think a 3 cushion really delineates your seating positions. You have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 seats on the sofa to sit, and they're nice, and they have enough room. That's my favorite.
Have you noticed if you have the 2 cushion one, no one wants to sit in the center. So
Oh, my
it's really
goodness.
just ends up being just for 2.
Yeah, you are so right. Right now in our family room, we have a 2 cushion, and we've had 3 before, but we have a 2, and yeah, only 2 people sit there, because we just Don't put anybody in the crack.
Okay, so what about tufts? No tufts? Any thoughts on those?
Oh, I like to go tuftless because my kids are still sort of little and stuff gets in the
They
tufts.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I
it's a
just think
pretty
it's a
look.
matter of design. It's a matter of, I mean, I think tufts can look either formal or contemporary, depending on how big the buttons are and how many tufts you have. And sometimes they can be absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a beautiful look.
Yeah,
I
so
just
it's a
think for
matter of
me,
taste. And again, it's a matter of function because I think a sofa is all about function.
right.
How are
Okay.
you going to use it?
I absolutely, Yvonne. How about this question? Foam or down?
Oh, I have such an opinion on this
Okay,
one.
tell
Well,
us.
then have at it.
I have had foam, I have had down, I have had everything. I even had a sofa that was like memory foam,
Yeah.
and that was pretty interesting. Now my daughter has it in DC on Capitol Hill, and in her basement, and it was a really cool sofa. But my absolute favorite, and it's a marriage of two good things, is a down wrapped foam.
Oh, yes.
That
That's
is
my
my
favorite.
absolute favorite.
Well,
And
it's best
I
of both worlds there.
Oh,
Yes.
and it's so nice. And I just thought when I was looking for a sofa for my living room, that's in my living room, I thought, oh, this is a little more luxurious. But then really, it's pretty firm, and I like a pretty firm sofa.
But it's cushy and soft too.
Oh, it is, but it holds you up. It doesn't like you're not like I've been in on down sofas, just all down, that are so luxurious, but they're just not comfortable to get in and out of because you do squish down in them. And so definitely a foam core that's wrapped in down.
Okay, next question.
That put that to bed, didn't it?
I love
Yeah.
that one. Well, I
Going
mean, I
head
don't
to head
think
with
there's
that.
any that's just the way to go, I think.
And
You
they're a
can find
little
it.
more expensive,
Yes.
but this is a place
But
that
you're
you
worth
spend
it.
the money. It's
You're
that
worth it.
investment.
Your
Yep.
tushy is worth it.
So
Your
worth it.
tushy is worth it. That's right.
Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health: potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order.
So how about the height of the back? What do you think about that? Because, you know, there's some that have the low back, some that have a real tall back, some that have a camel back. What's your thought?
Well, I think the really tall back makes you feel like you're sitting on a deacon's bench or something like that. Like just too high, right? And you don't want it too low because then it's sort of pressing into your shoulder blades. To something comfortable, like right around the neck. So if someone did pass out and take a nap, if their head would be caught, but
hanging over the back of the sofa.
Yeah, and if you're laying on it, you feel like you're kind of cozied in there. So I don't know. That's not really very precise, but somewhere above your shoulder line, right around where your neck would hit. And obviously, that's different for different people. So I am a big fan of shopping for a sofa in person if you can. I know you can do that online, and I think some of us have had some success with that. I have purchased all my sofas in my lifetime in person, and even the one the last white one in person, I think I've made some mistakes on that, and I got to try it out. So online, I think I would be a little nervous. But if it's something like you've seen it on, some of the major stores and whatnot, and you've seen it in the store, and I'm buying this exact thing, then
but maybe
I think that's fine.
It seems like a swatch would be a very good idea if you're buying a sofa online. And be sure and read those reviews so you'll know whether it's
that is
soft
definitely it. But let me just go back to the height of a sofa. The lower your sofa, now you don't want it, like you said, you don't want it cutting into your the middle of your back, your shoulder blades. But the lower your sofa back is, it actually makes your ceilings look higher. So if you have an 8-foot ceiling and you want to make it look a little higher, don't get a real tall backed sofa. Because it's big enough that it's like an optical illusion.
Well, and I think if you have really tall ceilings, it's the same thing. It may feel too cavernous if you have just a really low backed sofa.
Or just at least make it up in its length.
And, how about buying a sofa at a thrift store or an estate sale or something like that? I've done that.
You mean yours with the DNA all over it?
Yeah. That one I wouldn't have sold to. Can I tell you? Okay, let me tell you what I did with that one.
Okay.
I wasn't going to talk about it because it's
you
slightly
fumigated it first.
Well, this is what. Well, yeah, no, it was like. It was like a little scrapbook of my girls' life. Like, oh, someone did that there, and someone had that for lunch, and
I could still see where they had their lunch.
I know, and they're not supposed to eat in any other room except the kitchen, but obviously some people had done that.
Things happen.
Well, I had pulled the sofa out to be carted away, and I was going to donate it. So the Goodwill people were going to come, and so I pulled it out the French doors to our back patio, and it sat there while I was waiting for the other one to arrive and for the people to come take it away. And I was like, whoa, it fits perfectly. Perfectly on our bricked patio. And at that point I had 2 chaise lounges and like a little bistro set. And I thought, whoa, I mean, I do live in California, but I'm not going to leave this red thing out there like that is hobo.
Well, it's going to get wet at some
I
point.
thought you were
Mama
going
would
to say
not
that.
like that, right? I'm not just leaving this here. But I thought I am going to strip it, and I'm going to make that an outdoor couch.
Did
And
you?
I did. I did.
What do you mean you're going to strip it?
What did you do to it?
I cut it open. I pulled all the fabric off. I took the stuffing out. I had the base of it, which was this really nice hardwood. And with the help of a guy who did some handiwork at my house, which is not my husband by the by.
Yeah, wouldn't be
Yes.
here either. Yeah.
We cut some nice wood and we put it on and covered the parts that were still exposed. So it was all
Wow.
right in. I stained it. I did some marine varnish, and I had cushions made.
So it's all just a wood frame
Oh
now.
my goodness, great. Can you send me, do you still have it?
Yeah, there's a post on my blog about
I
it.
want to see
Oh,
this.
my
I have like
goodness.
a whole new respect for you. Wonder
Yes,
Woman.
we'll definitely put that in the show notes. Oh my goodness.
Wow, I'm so glad I brought it
You
up.
go, girl. Well, here's what I think about buying secondhand. It's fine. You certainly can do that. But I think people hold on to their sofas far longer than they should.
Well, because
Now-
it's a big investment. They're afraid to.
It is a big
it's
investment,
hard.
but do you know the average life of a sofa? 7 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because it gets so dirty and you can't
Ugh.
clean that. I mean, think
Yeah.
of just
Well, if you have a slip
pets and-
cover, it's a different.
yeah, that definitely is. But also, modern day, I mean, foams you get today hold up pretty well. But a lot, it breaks down after time. My mother has a 25-year-old sofa. She wants to reupholster a slipcover. I'm saying, Mom,
Yeah,
I mean,
not worth that.
you could eat off her floors. So, I mean, she's so impeccable with everything she does. And I don't get that same clean gene. It's not like I'm so excited
No,
to
you
go,
could eat
"Oh,
off our
let me
floors because there's food on them.
let me go." But I said, Mom, get rid of that sofa. Because after a few years, after that many years, I don't want that in my house.
Well, yeah, but and reupholstering is not cheap either.
Oh, yes.
And
I
it's
learned
almost like
that.
a lost art. And I know we've discussed in the past what people would do or rather do than sew a slipcover and all that. But real reupholstering, you can't really find that many people that do that nowadays. What I did for the sofa in our more formal living room in this house is at my favorite hospital thrift store. I found, what is in my mind, a Victorian shaped. You can picture it in your
Yeah,
mind,
sure.
but you might picture it with sort of like a pink shantung fabric or something like that. This one happened to have some like pretty horrible floral fabric, but the shape was amazing, and the legs and the bits of the wood that was showing had this wonderful patina on it. So I bought it. It was like $100, and I knew I was going to have it reupholstered, obviously,
Right.
and that cost a lot. And it wasn't something you could make a slipcover for because you have to go within the wood and do
Within
the
the
welting
wood,
and the
yeah.
whole 9 yards. But you guys, it is so
I've
beautiful.
I've been
Oh,
down
and I did it in this like chalkboard black, not totally black, but not
Yes,
gray.
yes.
Nubby linen. Oh,
Oh,
That does
okay.
sound gorgeous.
Speaking of your nubby linen, let's talk about choosing fabrics to go on your sofa. What do you think? What advice do you have?
Neutral.
I am such a big fan of slipcovers. I know that there's some disagreement in our camp.
No, I love slipcovers. Don't we all love slipcovers? No?
Yeah, there is some disagreement.
talk about fabric and then we'll slip
okay.
into slip covers.
yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
just your slipcover, honey.
I love slipcovers. I have a lot of very light sofas, and they're wonderful. I throw mine in the wash. I mean, you have to be very careful that you know how the manufacturer wants you to wash and dry. And if you have to dry clean it, it's really not worth it.
Good point.
Yeah, so I wash it, and I was always told that you put your slipcovers on damp, not wet, but you air dry them a little, and then you put them on your sofa, your chair, whatever you're going to put it on.
Oh, if it's a snug fit. Well, see, mine I made myself, and mine has some pretty ties on it, so I don't have to worry about that. So it just fits
No,
on.
mine are all. I have a wonderful a lady who does some of my slip covering, and she's just it's artful what she does, and that's what she told me, and it depends on the fabric. Now I do have a one from a well-known company that I'm not going to mention because I might not be that pleased with it for another reason. This company for another reason, but the slip covers are washer dryer, put it on, and that they absolutely work that way.
Well, the slipcovers that I got in the white sectional for our family room, it's like skinning a cat. Not that I would ever skin a cat, or that I have skinned a cat, and no intention of skinning a
Please
cat.
do not call in
I
if
like
you're a
cats.
cat lover.
We like cats. I
She-
have a cat.
We love cats.
Yeah, I like cats. But if you were to do something like that,
It's like wrestling a pig to get back
oh my
on.
God. And then yes,
We like pigs too.
wrestling a pig, right? To get it off the cushion. I mean, when I know I'm going to do it, I'm like, oh, I have to do this, and then I take it off and I peel it away, and then the cushion springs out, and then you're trying to shove it back in, and then it's a puzzle because I did with these two chases, so I really made these problems for myself, but they're just like maybe a smidge too tight, or something is wrong there. But it was expensive, and I'm not going to redo it, and and it's white, so it needs to be done fairly.
And then you have to work yourself up to getting.
So I won't go to the gym on the day that I'm doing that because
There
it's
you
a good
go.
enough workout.
But I just think that when you get to the point of you're talking about style and you're talking about fabric, you've done a lot of homework before that. And
Yes.
you've done.
You should have.
You should have, yes, to get the perfect sofa, like we said. Its function, how it's going to fit in your house, the size, what the, obviously, once you get all of that, and what kind of cushions you're getting, and what is with the construction of it, that's when you can get into, hey, what kind of fabric do I like?
And do we want to talk about solids versus patterns now?
Ooh, yeah, I'd love to do that. There's one kind of sofa that I will not buy.
And what is
I will
that?
not buy a brown leather sofa.
I had one at one time.
I know, but I'm not talking about like the really pretty sleek ones. I'm talking about the ones that, have like the leather headrest and they're big and a designer once told me this, and it just stuck in my head, and this is just me, that she said, why do people buy these big brown leather or leatherette sofas, and naugahyde sofas, because when you put it in your room it looks like a big brown turd. And I don't use the T word.
Just say that.
I know, I don't use the T word, I use poo, but okay, so whenever I see these sofas,
Oh my gosh.
that's all I think
I'm
about.
sorry. I'm a little bit clamped now.
Oh my Lord.
But think about it.
Well,
You've
I
got
had
to be
a-
that careful, because
Well, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about it, am I?
Now,
Because
I
if you-
had a leather sofa for a while, but my mistake I made, and I'm not going, I don't even think I can picture it now. But I ordered it online, and each sofa is different, obviously, so they really couldn't give me a swatch. And when it showed up, it was really way too orange. So I would never buy a leather sofa online again, ever.
And they're beautiful, but you have to watch, because that is a big piece of furniture you're putting in a room. That's
I
probably
think you have
the
to watch
biggest
the-
piece of furniture.
So I think leather, let me just state this, because I think you can do leather in a room and it can be beautiful, but
Beautiful.
be careful about the lines of the sofa and be very
Like a
careful about the color of the...
Chesterfield.
Yes,
beautiful.
yes. But I'm talking about the kind that, are definitely built for comfort, with the big big rolled
So
headrest.
just be careful.
Yeah,
when you're picking
I
out
think you're
a
talking
leather
about
sofa.
ones that are almost like a lazy boy for sofa kind of look. Like the
Well, we're
big-
not bashing Lazy Boy, because Lazy Boy really has some beautiful things,
Well,
but I
not
understand what
lazy
you're
boy,
saying.
but
Yes,
like
there's
recliners.
some beautiful ones at Lazy Boy. I think we should, yes. Well, we're just saying some of them, yeah. Okay, we got it.
Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy, with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef, because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions, as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Let me ask you another question if I can. What about sleeper sofas?
Did you see the Elaine episode on Seinfeld where she slept on the sleeper sofa? And then her back was she was just crying. Her back was, she needed traction or something. Her back was so bad.
I've never
they're
met a
not
sleeper
great.
sofa that I liked. I mean, to lay down on it. We actually had one in our past house because we just had so much. Our house is like, family central. They all come to me, which I love, and we got one because we just needed more space to have people sleep. And everybody sort of was vying not to be on that sofa.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're sort of necessary sometimes and practical. And, maybe your guests shouldn't stay that long anyway. So it's fine.
Like one night.
Like one night's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we're coming to a close here. Does anyone want to talk about solids versus patterns on a sofa?
Solids. I say solids.
Solid, something neutral, and then you can jazz it up with your pillows or a throw. I mean, you're going to live with it for a while, at least 7 years, right?
At
Yeah,
least
not
7 years,
more.
yes. Some people 25 or 26.
Ooh.
But yeah, at least 7. So definitely, I mean, I think solids look the best and more of a neutral, lighter.
And I think the thing with the pattern is it's not just that you might get bored with the pattern, but sometimes those patterns are just very trendy, and then 5 years down the road, your sofa looks so dated because
they
you went
do.
with a trendy pattern.
And we just did a podcast. The last podcast we did was on mixing patterns, and when you've got something that big in a room that is a pattern, it can be difficult to work around and mix.
Oh, well, that's true because I did have my floral purple sofa, one of the many sofas I've had, and it was almost impossible to find chairs that went with that pattern.
That's the one that you slip covered in a purple velvet, right?
The purple velvet. And my current sofa is actually a red corduroy sofa that I slip covered in the white linen. So
You covered
Wow.
a red corduroy
Transformation
sofa
artist.
in
Yes,
white
yes.
linen.
yes.
Did you have to line the linen?
No, but it was tufted, so I stuffed little bits of stuffing in every little tuft, It
Aren't
just-
you a smart girl?
Yeah, well. So, and then I had to do some layers of some batting or whatever on the
Yes,
back of
yeah.
the sofa to cover up all the the waves on it.
Yes.
You blow me away, Anita.
I know.
My Lord.
I
go
gotta
lay
up
down
my
and take a nap
DIY
now.
chops. You girls are amazing.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I was impressed with me taking one apart. You actually made it like a
no
whole new
kidding.
one. Okay, well, kudos to you, girls. All right.
You go, girl, right?
Lots to remember about buying a sofa, choosing a sofa, and we'd also want you to remember that we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Hey there, if you're loving our podcast like we're loving our podcast, we would love you to rate and review us. Head to iTunes to do that. It's easy and it would mean so much to us. And if you do rate and review us, we're going to enter you to win a fantastic giveaway. The details for the giveaway are in the show notes for this episode, and you can find the show notes at decoratingtipsandtricks.com.